Next module you have to study about, that is module number second, that is a corrosion and metal finishing. In this one, first one, that is a corrosion. Corrosion means it is, which is a process can be used for what here many areas. This is a replacement of the materials which is having a loss of the corrosions unlimited, and these metals and alloys are there. No? These are the fabrications in engineering, means these metals of these corrosions are there. No? These are mostly used in where, that is engineering and fabrication, and this phenomenon is destruction of metals and alloys is known as corrosion. Destructions of the metals, that alloys is known as corrosion. So corrosion is simply defined as these spontaneous destruction of metals which having course of the chemicals, electrochemical and biochemical interaction with environment. Here you take metals, and these metals must be attracted towards the electrochemicals, biochemicals or chemicals to the environment, interaction towards the environment. This is what a definition of corrosion. Here given example, rusting of iron, green film of the basic cupric carbonate. This is what examples of what here corrosion. So corrosion is nothing but destruction and loss of the metal to the chemical and electrochemical attack by the environment. This is what here definition. Next, at the cathodic region which is takes place, which is cannot be reduced further the metal atoms or the cathodic region. So some of the constitutions are the corrosion which takes place by the cathodic reactions. Here given reactions are there by the corrosion reactions by the cathodes and anodes. So these cathode conditions, the metal atoms must be converted into ions, which is liberated by Mn plus Ne, which is cathode anode reaction. In a cathode reaction, what happen? These are the liberation of the absence of oxygen. They are 2H plus 2E minus, means is the absence of oxygen, it gives to what here hydrogen. Next, neutral reaction. Neutral or the alkaline medium of these are the absence of oxygen, hydrogen, which is formed by what here hydrogen. It is a reaction of this neutralization reaction. Next, absorption of oxygen means absorb the oxygen where it is in the presence of oxygen. That time what happen in acidic medium, when it is in the presence of oxygen, it gives like this. In neutral or the alkaline medium, when it is in the presence of oxygen, that hydroxide ions are formed by the following reaction. What is that? 2H2O plus O2 plus 4E. It gives to reaction like this. Next, this is example, one more example is given, that is what? Corrosion. That is example of corrosion is rusting of iron. Corrosion of iron is produced what here? Fe2 plus ions, and it is OH minus ions is anodic and cathodic sides respectively. So these Fe2 plus ions is diffuse more rapidly by the OH minus ions, and these are the combinations occurs by the cathodic regions, and it is produced by the FeOH twice. So this is what explanation about what here rusting of iron, how to rusting of irons is takes place. Okay, and this presence of limited oxygen ferrous hydroxides is converted into this magnesium oxides, that is a black rust. Next, the rate of the galvanic corrosions is depends upon the factors when it is a potential difference between the anodes and cathode regions. Here given the diagrams, anodes and cathode regions. So that time what happened? That is a galvanic corrosions, means there is a difference between the anodes and cathodes. So consider here taken what here galvanic cells. Okay, in these galvanic cells what will be happen? This is cathodes, this is anodes with Fe and Cu. Okay, and this is what anodes and cathodes is given reactions. So at galvanic series what will be happen? In galvanic series, base metals are placed in higher and noble metals are placed in lower. Okay, so this galvanic series is developed by studying the corrosion of metals in environment without any removal the oxide field. Okay, so this position of given metals is galvanic series, which depends upon the corrosive environment. Next, waterline corrosion. Waterline corrosion means it takes place due to the formation of different types of the oxygen concentration cells, and the part of these metals is below present in dissolved oxygen. Here given the diagrams are there. So this part of the waters is exposed where it is atmosphere. So this part of the metals is below the anodes are there, it undergo what here waterline free from the corrosion. You have to see in the diagram. It is represented, the waterline corrosions are there. So this is one is very important. These are the difference between these two. This is next peating corrosion. Peating corrosion, as a result, when the dust particles is get deposited in the metal surface, the portion is covered by what here? Dust particles. Okay, though these portion is covered by the dust particles which is exposed what here? Surface, and these are the respect to the exposed surface, so it gives to what here? Size, and becomes a pit which is covered with the corrosion products. Here given the diagram of corrosion products. These are the dust, anodic regions, here cathodic regions. How to control this corrosion control means cathodic protection. What is that? Sacrificial anodes methods. What is the process of that one? In these methods, this is protected metals is converted into the cathodes by what here? Connecting by the less noble gases. Like what here? Zinc, magnesium, aluminiums are there by wire. And the more active metals are acts by the anodes and undergoes the corrosion, and is protecting by the metal structures. Okay, this is a method of the sacrifice anode method which is present in the cathodic protection. Example is magnesium blocks connected by the pipelines. Next, what are the advantages of this pipeline? Here diagram is given by the pipelines. What are the advantages? Methods is a simple, very simple method. Low installation and maintenance, does not require the power supply. This is what here advantages of pipelines are there, which is present in the protection of the corrosion, means control the corrosions. Next, disadvantages are there. Some disadvantages is over, that is a pipeline, as well as they are given what here sacrificial anode methods. These are the advantages. And what are the disadvantages are there? Disadvantages is, that is impressed current methods, means another methods for providing the cathodic protections by applying the direct current to the corrosion currents, and this is external voltage is applied to the opposite direction, which is converted into the metallic structures. Okay, so these metals structures is being cathode, which is does not undergo the corrosions, and these undergo the corrosions which remains unaffected. Okay, here given the diagram of graphites. What are the advantages of that one? This is low maintenance, and one installations can be protect the large area of the metal. Next, what are the limitation of this one? Limitation is very expensive, and this liberation can be takes place by the surface and metal advantages. Next one is metal coatings. Deposition of protective metal over the surface, that must be metallic coating. Galvanizing, it is a process of in which zinc or the iron process can be taken and dipped into the hot process. That is what is galvanizing. Here given a diagram can be given. This is what is dilute H2SO4, zinc, and is excess of zinc is there. What is the process of this galvanizing process? In this one, the steel is first is passed through the where it is this iron steel is passed into this dilute H2SO4 for 15 to 20 minutes at a 60 degrees Celsius, 60 to 80 degrees Celsius, and this process is what happen, the remove the rust and other impurities must be removed from this first process. Next, these is washed with the waters. These sheets are there, no iron sheets is enters to this one. That time what happened, these are washed with the waters and drying up to the chambers. Again it is dipped into the next one. What is that? Bath of this zinc, molten zinc. You have to pass it into the dip into the molten zinc, and these molten zinc must be having at 430 degree Celsius. So this surface of the bath is covered with the NH4Cl. This is covered with what here? This is covered with the NH4Cl degree Celsius before galvanizing. So these clean metal surface and after galvanizing protects what here? Galvanized sheet from the atmospheric oxidations which is passed through the rollers of this example. And here given uses what is that? Refining sheets, pipes, wires and nails. Anodizing. It is a process in which protective positive oxide films, which is artificially or the chemically or the electrochemically produces by this one. This is given a diagram. Anodizing of aluminium. This is coating by generally producing by ferrous metals like aluminium, zinc, magnesium or the alloys by anodic oxidation by the metal oxides. Anodizing of aluminium, it is carried out from what here? Coating. Okay, so these porous coating, this is cathodes and anodes is there. This porous coating is commonly bathed into H2SO4. H2SO4 is important in this one. The thickness of the film is increases with progressive oxidation. Outermost layer of this oxide film is very porous and soft. So it is what here. The non-porous oxidation coatings is there. No, this is non-corrosive electrolytes by this one acids and borax. Okay, which is improved corrosion's relations with the resistance by mechanical injury.